Life's party. Life's always a party. Let's go, Paul. We're back. We're back and feeling good.
Yeah, we are. We're back.
How are you feeling?
We're doing good. Welcome back to the show, baby. We took a little hiatus, but we're back. So.
I think I'm more pumped up for this show than you are. Usually you are like flexing over there.
Okay.
Flexing.
Hold on.
There you go. A little Michelob. Paulie's on a diet. That's what he is.
Dude, Michelob, I think, is just one of the best light beers there is. So here we go, Michelob Ultra.
So as Paul said, we had to take a little hiatus. There was some COVID in my fam.
Yeah.
There was some COVID in my fam. I had to quarantine for, 10 days, right? Well, there's no set rules to COVID. It's just everybody makes their own shit up. But I quarantined for 10 days. My brother and my mom got it from Outback. So don't go to Outback anytime soon. I mean, there's no direct link to where it was from. But, I mean, I think it was Outback. So, Outback has COVID. You heard it here first. So, don't go eat at Outback. You like Outback, Paul.
Segue me into there. I definitely...
Paul likes Outback.
I like the Outback Steakhouse. I like the Outback Wild Australia.
What?
So, either one, Outback...
Wait, they're two different places?
But I like the whole thing, you know what I mean?
Wait, they're two different places?
Absolutely.
No, are they? I'm, genuinely asking you a question.
There's the Outback, and there's the Australia Outback. That's why it's all Australian.
I don't
like
there are two restaurants.
No. One's a restaurant. One's like part of a country.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Okay.
But I mean, it was tough, the quarantine, and it was 10 days. I felt like I was in an actual insane asylum. It's like I would go outside for 30 seconds to get some fresh air or some sunlight, and I would just stand there for 30 seconds, just looking at the world and just everything I'm missing, and then go back inside. Then the next day I wake up, I take 5 steps outside my door. Breathe in the air for 30 seconds, look at all the world and what I'm missing, and then I go back inside for 10 days. But you got your vaccine, Paul. You're now going to defeat COVID.
I did. I did get my vaccine, so I'm pumped. If you want to get a vaccine, you'll be able to soon. Everyone, just do it. I'm trying to get life back to normal. You know what I mean?
I saw your post. You did post, go get your shit together, people. Go get your COVID shot so we can go out and do some normal shit.
I just said real plain simple. I said, hey, I just got my COVID shot. Everyone make sure, don't be an idiot. Get your shot. Let's get this shit back together.
Well, I haven't gotten mine yet, so don't be mad at me, but I'm actually fighting the actual vid. The actual COVID is trying to get into my body, and I'm just not letting it happen.
I thought I was fighting vid a couple weeks ago. But we're good. I think we're good now. Enough of this.
COVID's done taking over our life. Let's get into the show, what these people at home love Life's a Party about. And we're going back to something that's a big fan favorite, Paul. Everybody wanted more party fouls.
Yes, they did. So we are bringing them back. Party Fouls, Part 2. I told you, I think the last time we did the Party Fouls, I said, we might do more. And we came up with some more. So that's what we're going to do. The first one here. What do we got, Rye?
All right. So this one you are actually notorious for.
Yeah,
this is something that Paul does often, maybe I could say. So, number one party foul is leaving your debit card at the bar. Wah, wah, wah. That's a party foul.
That's a party foul. Make sure that you pay out your tab, tip your bartender, and make sure you got your card on the way home.
Well, maybe they are paying it. They're leaving their debit card at the bar.
You'll pay it. They'll charge it for sure.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people do this when they go bar hopping.
That's true.
When people go bar hopping from bar to bar, I mean, you're paying so many tabs and you're in and out and within an hour, and you're forgetting to actually grab your debit card, the most important piece that you need to get to use at the other bar.
I agree. I think, depending on what you're doing, you're moving fast, make sure you can't miss the Uber, right? You can't miss the Uber. Your friends are going. You're like, okay. And I think that's the worst part when you're trying to leave a bar is to make sure that you got everything. You paid your tab. You're good to go.
Meanwhile, you're smacked up.
Yeah, you're drunk. You're not paying attention. You probably don't want to pay, but you got to. That's the rules.
Have you ever bar hopped? I feel like Paulie bar hop is like a thing.
Dude,
I don't think I have. To be honest, I think maybe a couple nights I've gone out to a bar and gone to a couple more, but I don't consider that bar hopping. I feel like bar hopping is playing a whole day. My sister does this cool thing. Once she lived in Hoboken, she would go on a bike tour, bar hopping tour, which is very dangerous.
There's a bunch of cities have different types of bike tours, as you're saying. Yeah. I know Nashville's notorious, has one. I know a lot of major cities do. And yeah, you have like a bartender who's in the middle of this bike and everyone pedals around the bike. My family's done it. My mom, my sister's done it. I've seen people. We were in, where were we at?
Your mom, Paul's mom's alive. He pointed at heaven. My mom did it up there before. door.
If you don't know what's going on,
He put it to this guy.
we
Paul's
shoot
mom's alive, okay?
we shoot the podcast in my basement. So I was pointing to my mother who's upstairs, not in heaven, thankfully.
My mom used to bar hop up there. Those good old days. But it is a dangerous thing. But you're talking about the group bike where you can't really fall off. My sister did the 2-wheel bike, and they would legit ride a bike on their own. So like she actually
dangerous then.
fell, busted her knee up, actually left her debit card at the bar. So that was probably a night she would want to forget.
Bar hopping's a good time. No matter what you do, bar hopping's a good time. But don't leave your debit card at the bar. We brought this up because I told Ryan I've done this. I've done it twice now. I did it once.
Party foul. That's what they call them.
Yeah, I did it once a few years ago at a bar up at school. I just got really hammered that night. I met a lot of people. A lot of people were buying me shots. I left, realized I woke up. I was like, damn it. Like, I've never done that before. Had to go in the morning to get my card back. A little shameful walk of shame, I guess, from the male perspective.
Well, there's a lot of last thing on this before we go to our next party foul. So there's a lot of panic on your mind once you wake up and realize that, oh shit, I don't have my debit card. It's like what's that sound on TikTok? It's like, oh, I fucked up. Like, oh, I fucked up.
Dude, I mean,
it's like you wake up and you're like, oh shit, my debit card's at the bar. Someone could have stole it. I might have to cancel this. I gotta call my bank. I gotta rip it up. Fuck. Like, it's one of the worst things to do is lose your debit card.
one of the worst things is like your wallet. Like sometimes I think I'd rather lose my wallet or rather lose my phone than my wallet, because like my wallet, everything in like your license, your like I don't even know, like all your debit cards, your wallet, or your credit cards, like everything in your wallet, I feel is harder to replace than your phone.
Dude.
Because your phone, you just buy it and everything's uploaded to the cloud.
I shouldn't say this on a public podcast.
What?
But my social security number is written down in my wallet.
See? Exactly.
So if I ever lose my wallet, I'm losing my identity.
But here's the thing.
Someone's going to be Ryan on Life's a Party.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people do the same way, and they have a lot more in their wallet. They maybe have like their passwords written down, or they have like all that shit written down. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes your phone, you could just end your phone, turn it off, and then basically you just go buy a new one, and then your pictures, everything's uploaded to the cloud. So who cares?
It's in the cloud, bro. With your mom. It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud.
All right, what's the next party foul, Paul? Give it to him in like a real like energetic way. Like party foul number 2. Let's hear it. You're good at this stuff.
Party foul number 2, leaving without paying your tab. So as we said, make sure you pay your tab. You tip your bartender. So I did this once recently.
You tipped your bartender once.
No.
Paul's only tipped his bartender one time.
I have left without paying my tab once. I got confused. We go up to a local bar, Shady Katie's, 814 South. That's the place to be, I guess, in Stratford, Somerville area. That's what we do. And I don't know what happened that night, but I guess I must have had different bartenders because of the way we were functioning and like we were moving around a little bit. So I thought I paid my tab. I thought it was a little short. Like I was like, oh, maybe they gave me like a free drink. So I was
Paul
like,
saw
okay.
how cheap it was. Well, I'm getting out of here.
Well, I was like, oh, maybe they gave me like a free drink. Like maybe the shots are on someone else's tab. I'll Venmo
because you got a
someone.
big podcast now. You just think everything's for free.
I don't know, not for free, but like I would pay it off, like whatever. So I pay my tab, like I thought I did. I left. I get a call maybe like 30 minutes later saying, hey, bro, did you leave without paying your tab? I was like, what do you mean I paid it? And they're like, oh, they're saying you never paid your tab. I was like, dude, I literally paid my tab. Like, you can even ask the bartender, like ask him. I paid. So I was like, let me know like what else I owe. And I'll go back up. I'll go pay it. But people are crazy, bro. Just pay your tab.
Did you go back and pay?
No, someone picked it up. No, because
that's the thing I want to talk about is like this happens almost every time we go out. I see it maybe at least once every time I go out on the weekend. And the thing is, whenever you leave that tab, this is where it's a party foul. You leave the tab, you don't pay your tab, you're hammered, you're too worried about getting home without throwing up or peeing somewhere, and your friend who's still there has to pick up the tab.
Yeah.
So that's where the party foul comes in because your friend then has to take care of your money and your business because you couldn't do so.
So yeah. Don't
be Paul. Don't be a Paul party foul.
Don't do that.
Was I the friend that picked you up on
No,
that?
Vinny did. My boy Vin. I called him. He was like, I was like, yo, how much do I owe you for the tab? He's like, it wasn't a lot. I already picked it up. I'm like, dude, I'll pay you. He's like, nah, it wasn't a lot. So I'm like, so first of all, who was complaining about it? Because it wasn't a lot. I would have paid it. I promise.
$2.32.
You left without your tab, bro.
All right, so here's the third party foul. It's one of my favorites because it's a really low-key party foul. Like, most people don't really comprehend this party foul, but it's not paying or not buying someone a shot who has already bought you one earlier in the night.
That's a great thing.
It's a great party foul that you should not do.
As Ryan said, you have to pay your respect to your friends in the bar. And I think that, a lot of times when someone buys you a shot, you're like, oh, that's so nice of them. Like, thank you. But you got to understand, if you're friends, like, sometimes people just will buy it. Like, don't worry about it. But the respectful thing to do is to buy them a shot back. Then you're even, you're settled, and you're both getting more hammered throughout the night, which is a good thing. So just be that kind friend.
Yeah, so if you buy me a shot earlier in the night or early in the night, Paul, I feel obligated that I have to buy you one at some point during that night. And I feel the same way about when I buy someone else a shot. So if I buy someone else a shot, I then feel as if, they owe me one. I think they owe me a shot. That might be controversial. The TikTok comments will go probably nuts.
Yeah.
They don't owe you a shot, Ryan. But I feel like that's the nice thing to do because that's how I would think if I was on the opposite side receiving it.
I don't know. Yeah, but sometimes if I just buy you a shot, I'm just being nice. Like, maybe it's a cool event for you or, like, we're just doing something fun. I don't think you need to, but, like, if you do, I won't say no. You know what I mean?
Here's this thing. I feel like this especially applies when you kind of commit to it as a group. So we do this new thing where we get a bucket of beer for the night, and we play this game called Fingers. It's complicated to explain, but you would put your fingers on a thing, and I would count down 3, 2, 1, and try to guess how many fingers are going to be on LeBron's head or the bucket of beer. And if I get it right, then I'm off, and the last person standing has to buy everyone there a round of shots. So if that happens, so say we're with 8 people, one person loses, they have to buy a round for everybody. So then I feel like it's everyone else's obligation for them to buy shots for everyone else as well.
In regards to the bucket game we've been starting up at bars, this is awful because if you lose, it's
like
twice,
$40.
If you lose, it's like a $50 thing. I did it at Shady's a couple weeks ago. I lost, and I'm like, it was 50. I bought everyone a shot. There was 10 of us. Like, it ended up being $50. So that sucks. If you lose twice, you're out $100 for the night. So
yeah, but here's the thing though, because once you do that, so you're down $50.
Yeah.
But then the other people, once they buy the shots, you get your money's worth, and everybody all evenly paid the same amount and all evenly had the same amount of alcohol.
I don't know if everyone is doing the same $50 shot.
Well, here's the last thing I'll say on this is that we were out, Shady Katie's, Spot the Big Inn, and Stratford, and I lost the fingers game. So I had to buy a round of shots for everybody. But he gave my round for free.
Yeah, so you...
So I made out and didn't have to pay for that round. So, but that's that one. So if someone buys you a shot while you're out, definitely buy them a shot for the rest of the night.
Absolutely.
Or one at least.
Yeah.
What's the next one, Paul?
The next one here, you know what's crazy about these is I'm realizing. So
you do all of them?
Yeah, and I do. And this one I have a great story with Shady Katie's as well. So
Shady Katie. If you want to see us out, Life's a Party, go to Shady Katie's because we'll be there.
The next party foul. Do not puke in the bathroom. I don't know. I feel like...
You can't puke and rally? Like, that's not a thing?
No, I feel like that should be a thing. And I feel like if you should puke, it's better to puke in the bathroom
well, the problem
than it is in your living
when
room.
People go to puke in the bathroom, they don't get it in the toilet or the trash can. And then that's where the party foul comes in because it's all over the wall. The bathroom stinks for everybody else throughout the rest of the night.
So the party thing is when you're puking and rallying, we support that. That when you do it, just make sure you're getting it. Don't do it in the sink. Get it in the toilet. The sink, you got to clean that out. That's a mess and a half.
So the puke and rally is acceptable as long as you get the stuff in the trash can or in a contained area. Now, this would be a party foul if you puke and don't rally.
Yeah.
So this is for the party fouls for people who puke in the bathroom and they don't rally.
And then they go home.
They're just done.
And they pass out on the couch. It's like, no, you got the whole point. Pull trig. If you don't, you know what pull and trig is, right?
Pull trig, yeah.
Yeah, you got to pull trig. That's the best. That's
Dude,
the puke and
I have
rally
a story about pull trig, and we were going to go on the next one, but we were in Punta Cana. We went on a vacation together, and I never pulled trig before because I'm more of a peer when I get hammered. Like, I pee on things. Not myself. I don't pee myself. I pee on, like, things. Like, I get up in the middle of the night, and I'll just pee, like, in my shorts drawer.
Yeah. So we call that getting pissy.
Getting pissed.
Getting pissy. You
so I don't throw up. But in Punta Cana, the food was bad. We were drinking a lot all day, and I needed to throw up. And I just not wanting to throw up. So I tell my buddy, he's like, "Oh, you should pull trig." I'm like, "What's pull trig?" And he's like, "You just you just put your fingers down your throat and you make yourself throw up in like the corner." So I never did it before. I'm sitting there, finger in my
Finger in
throat,
my mouth.
trying to get myself to throw up, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what, Sean, do it for me. Just put your finger. It's like the scene from 21 Jump Street. Don't they do it?
Yeah.
So we go into it like a corner, like we're so sketchy. Like we look so sketchy about what we're doing. We're in the corner of Punta Cana, pitch black out, and he's jabbing his finger in my throat. And he finally gets me to projectile vomit, and I felt good. So pull trig. If you need a friend to do it for you, hey, it's okay. Whenever you need a helping hand, it's good to ask for help.
In college.
Literally a helping hand.
In college, the best thing that I learned how to do was pull trig, because I never really did it in high school. But college, I felt, as I was drinking a lot, especially beer, man. That's why, I mean, the seltzers are great now. There's so many different types of alcoholic beverages that you can drink. And as you get older, I feel like we're drinking less and less beer because it just makes you bloated. Like it makes me feel so bloated.
Like I need an automatic Tums.
Yeah.
When I have a beer, I need like to go home and have a couple Tums.
So pulling trig is like you can have your beer, chug your beer, do your shotguns, your beer funnels, do whatever you want, right? But then that's where pulling trig comes in play, because instead of feeling bloated, you just pull trig, you get it all out, puke and rally, do your thing, and let's get hammered.
All right. Next party foul is being the fighting couple at a party. You hate this, Paul.
Terrible.
You hate this one. It's a big party foul. Why do you hate it so much, Paul?
It's the worst thing, because if I'm just trying to have a good time and drink with my friends, and then all of a sudden, like, a girl walks into the party and you see her and maybe you have some history with her, or maybe you're in a relationship and maybe some weird things happen, and it's like, bro, like, take your problems and be like, have them at your house. Like, don't interrupt my fun party time that we do once or twice a week now. Like, leave it at home.
Dude, we do have friends where like their ex will walk in and then they'll go, "It's time to argue with you."
It's like,
I don't want to argue with you.
Oh, it's like my mood's all ruined. Like, I'm done for today. I'm pissed. Like, it's like, bro,
Because it kills your vibe, because not only are you worried about that becoming a thing and a dramatic situation, but you're worried about it for the rest of the night, and you're not even involved with it.
You're not involved with it, and you're just like, okay, because what happens is, if you're not involved in it, then your buddy is now like down and about, or the girl who, maybe your friend's the girl, right? And you know, maybe like a boy walks in, or friend, and like whatever, and you're friends with him, but it's just a weird vibe. It gets the whole mood down. Then people start gossiping. They're like, "Yo, bro, like, did you see blah blah blah?" And it's like, "I did." Like, how fucking rude are they? They're awful. And they're like, "Let's kick them out." It's like, okay, let's kick them out. So don't be the friend, or don't be the couple that's arguing. Party foul.
All right, next one, Paul. What do you got?
Getting cut off at the bar. Party foul.
Here, I've never been cut off at the bar, though I should have many times.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have been cut off many times. We have a story, which I'm going to go to immediately. It's actually Sean. We might have to bring him back on the show, because we reference him very often. So not only did he help me pull trig by shoving his finger down my throat, but we went to Punta Cana, and it's an all-exclusive resort.
It's all-inclusive.
Inclusive, I mean. Yeah. All-inclusive resort, so you get to drink alcohol whenever you want. You literally go up to the bartender. You don't have to have cash. You go, "Hey, let me get a margarita. Let me get a couple kamikaze shots." And you don't have to pay there. Like, they can't say no. It's all-inclusive. You paid for it before the vacation. This man got cut off in the club in Punta Cana on the resort site, in the dance club, or in the club.
Yeah.
He got cut off.
They were like, "Oh, no, too drunk, you're cut off." You're like, "What do you mean? I already paid for it."
You know how hammered you have to be to get cut off from an all-inclusive resort?
Yeah, we were having a good time. A little too good of a time, Shawnee Brawny, but that's what we do.
Well, there are those annoying people who get cut off, like, at the bar, and then they make a big fit out of it, like, "You can't cut me off. You know," like those big frat boys, "You don't know who my dad is. I'm going to sue." Like, relax, bro. You had a little too much. And then they end up getting kicked out anyway. So.
That's the frat house stuff, where we've had guys walk up and we're like, you know, they're like, "Oh, can I get in?" You're like, "Oh, $20. And they're like, $20? Like, this is ridiculous." Or like, "Do you know who I am?" Or yeah, like your dad or whatever. Or it's like, "Oh, I got a big brother." Like, "Yo, I'm calling the cops."
Yeah.
It's like, dude, call the cops, man. We love the cops. We're partying with them later. Like, don't worry about it, people.
All right, next party foul is leaving your drunk friend behind. That is a party foul.
Dude, we got so many stories with Sean.
We left. Oh yeah, we did leave.
So
Sean.
I'll tell this story. So
Sean's
because Ryan already had the other one. But we had a buddy. So don't leave your drunk friend behind. We had a buddy. We went to Atlantic City. It was one of our first times in Atlantic City when we were 21 years old. So great time, right? Where I don't know what was happening, but we ended up going to a different hotel to gamble. And we were doing some gambling. We were on the floor. It's late at night. Obviously, we're all drinking.
It was the
having a good
Wild
time.
West in Atlantic City for all you South Jersey or Philly people. Wild West, I think it was Bailey's. Wild West, Atlantic City.
So we were all like together drinking, having a good time. Where I think there was only like 5 of us or 6 of us. I think there were 6 of us or whatever. And somebody called the Uber and like started to run, like just like run out of the casino. And I guess, I saw that we were leaving. So I left and there was a bunch of people and we're like, okay, cool. And the Uber like fit 5 of us. So we all like shoved in the Uber, made sure we were good to go. We're driving back to our hotel and someone goes, yo, where's our buddy? Like, where's Sean? And we're like, what do you mean? So Sean, we all left Sean at Bailey's by himself.
Yeah, he was
hammered.
stuck at the craps table, just playing craps. What happened actually is that we had an Uber draft. So we only had so many seats in the Uber, and there was 2 captains, and you got to pick who would come in the Uber. Sean was at the craps table. He was a little smacked up. It wasn't my idea, okay? So don't make me the asshole. But we had an Uber draft, and Sean didn't get drafted to go home that night, and he got stuck at the craps table. Don't leave your friend behind. I mean, I've had a couple stories where we left a girl at a frat house, left her behind because she wouldn't leave because she was so set on getting with this guy, and we were just fed up. And then next thing you know, a couple hours later, she's not coming home. And we're like, oh, shit. What's that TikTok sound? Oh, I fucked up. Like, we fucked up. Like, we shouldn't have left without her, even though she says so. So your friend's going to say no regardless. They're not going to want to leave. But it doesn't matter. You have to drag them out because they're not going to cooperate. You just have to be the better friend and don't do a party foul and leave them behind.
No party foul. Last one, party foul we got here is don't scream for the bartender's attention. See, I feel like this is a weird one.
No, this is a big party foul.
Really?
Dude, I hate the people who, we have a couple friends who do it too. And I hate when they do it. We'll sit at the table and it'll be like a couple, like 20, 30 minutes until we got served.
Yeah.
And they'll first start with this. They'll start with
trying to get the hands up, you know, because that's being polite. That's not yelling at them. Yeah. That's like that's the most polite way to try to get a bartender's attention.
Start with that, then they start with the random noises.
Yo, how you doing? What's up?
They don't say words. With the hand movement. So there's the first 2. And then this is where they start, like, that's a little okay. But then this is where they get over the line. They're like, yo, okay, you got me a drink. Like, they stand up, cause a scene. Then they're calling the bartender's name. Clearly, he's busy. So just have some patience and some respect because bartenders are busy people and they don't get paid that much. So respect them.
I agree with that.
Well, what's your other side of take? You don't think it's a party foul?
Sometimes. So we have a friend that's a bartender and I've talked to him about it and he's like a weird way where he would rather you like yell at him because a lot of the time he said he doesn't actually know. Like he has no clue and he wants to please his his guests. Like he wants to please his customers and that kind of thing. And as you said, like bartenders are moving around, usually Friday, Saturday night, Thursday night. Like it's really busy. So they're doing a lot. And sometimes, he just doesn't see the wave or like he doesn't see you like trying to get his attention.
He doesn't hear yo.
So if you're like, yo, what's up? Like, it's like, yo, can I get a drink? Like if you're more prominent in his face, he won't get mad about it. He'll be like, okay, cool. Like, but it all depends on how you do it. So
dude, one last thing before we get to our next segment. Something that really pisses me off, I was at the water ice factory the other day, and it was a slow-moving line. And the lady in front of me was there for a good 20 minutes. She gets to the window, has no idea what she wants to order. You're there for 20 minutes, and you don't know what you want to order? Like, what are you doing when you're standing there in La La Land? What are you thinking about? So that makes me think about, like, sometimes I'll see people try to weigh down a bartender. They're bitching at him the whole night. Come over. He finally comes over with a notepad. All right, what do you guys want? What do you want? What do you want, Angela? What do you want, Greg? It's like, no one knows. And then the bartender just got over here. He's trying to keep up with other tables, and you don't know your order.
Yeah, I agree.
So no, have a plan, at least, if you're going to say shit and be a peasant.
Be a peasant. Know your shit.
And know your orders when you're in line for water ice or ice cream. Figure it out, people. Jesus.
That's what he said. End of segment. Done.
The segment.
Support for Life's a Party is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners right here. Get 20% off plus free shipping with our code Life's a Party at manscaped.com.
And make a party downstairs.
That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use our code Life's a Party. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Next segment, we're moving off of the drinking
to more of my speed, like my specialty.
More of my specialty.
This is my specialty.
Moving to the movies, but this is specifically Marvel.
Specifically my specialty.
We're doing some Marvel this week, which is pretty dope. Some Marvel facts we got for you. Maybe you didn't know, comic books, some a little bit movies, so we're doing good. Rye, what's our first thing we got?
Any Marvel content is a fact to me. Like, if you say something, anything Marvel, it's a new fact I have to learn.
Yeah, you're learning. I usually know all this stuff previous. There's a few I didn't know here.
All right, so the first Marvel fact is titled The First Marvel Superhero. Now, did you think it was Captain America? Do you think Captain America was the first Marvel hero? Well, you're wrong. So Marvel's first hero appearing in Marvel #1 in 1939 was the Human Torch. Not Johnny Storm, but an android that could control fire. Paul, you like the Human Torch?
I do like the Human Torch. We talked about Fantastic Four on the show a couple weeks ago. Remember, I asked you to name them, and you couldn't name them?
Yeah, I couldn't name any of them. The sad part is I still can't name them.
So Fantastic Four, known as Marvel's first family, but also like Captain America, you would think being the first superhero, because Captain America is based in around World War II, like end of 1939, 1940s. So that's
what does
why
Marvel #1 mean?
The first ever Marvel comic book.
Like the title of that was called Marvel #1?
No, it's probably called Marvel issue #1, and then whatever the name of the comic book was.
Well, who's Johnny Storm? I thought Johnny Storm was Human Torch.
Johnny Storm is Human Torch, but this was probably a different version of him.
So it's an android that could control fire, so it wasn't even a person?
No, that's probably where the Johnny Storm that we know from the Fantastic Four probably...
Was it like the phone, the android that could control fire? Oh, I see. So that's why they made the android blow up. Wasn't that the phone that started to blow up?
Yeah,
that's where it came from. They got that from Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. So then they made the androids blow up at any point.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I think that's what they got that from.
So something cool about this, actually. So they had an Easter egg of Human Torch, this first comic book character, in the first Avenger, starring Chris Evans. So Captain America, the first Avenger. No. Captain America, the First Avenger, the movie with Captain America starring Chris Evans. There's a scene where in like 1939 or 41, wherever they're in the Stark Expo. If you look off to the right, there's a glass case, and that is there's a superhero costume in there, and that is actually the Human Torch being Marvel's first superhero. So it's a little Easter egg for you.
That's pretty cool.
There you go. You look up these facts, but I got these facts up here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Do you have anything else on Human Torch before we get to our next Marvel fact?
No. I'm just ready for a Fantastic Four movie by Disney, like from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Are they making one?
Yeah, they are. They've teased it a little bit. We got like a poster like a year ago.
A poster?
But, yeah, just a little tease that saying they will make one.
All right, go to the next one. This one's my favorite one by far. It's nice and juicy, baby.
Okay.
Juicy.
So the next Marvel fact we got here, this is actually Aunt May and Tony Stark together.
Whoa! We got some gossip. Celebrity gossip.
So have you ever seen Spider-Man Homecoming?
Yep.
Or this was actually from Civil War, that Tony comes to Peter Parker's house or apartment in Queens and meets Aunt May, which is played by Melissa Tomei, and they actually had they've acted together before. They dated even. So
whoa.
That's pretty cool. And in that movie, Tony is hitting on Aunt May. He calls her hot. Like he messes with Peter. So it's a fun little Easter egg that they, the two actors, Melissa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr., used to act together. They dated for a little bit, but Robert Downey Jr. said, ended on good terms. They're friends, and he actually got her the job and the role of Aunt May here.
Nice. Now I'm going to ask something. So,
what do you got for me?
The Spider-Man I love Spider-Man. You know it's my favorite,
I
but
do.
it kind of confuses me. Isn't Aunt May in the first Spider-Man old as shit?
Yes. So something that they did, they
Like she's like a grandma. So Tony Stark's dating the grandma.
no. So in the MCU, it's a little different. In the first couple Spider-Man movies in the early 2000s,
She's
starring
like 80.
yeah, it's starring Tobey Maguire from Sony, Aunt May, and what's his name? Uncle Ben. They're older. They're a lot older.
R.I.P. Uncle Ben.
Uncle,
I
we're
hope you
pointing
do
up.
some bar house with Paul's mom with the bike. You and Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben died, but but yeah, in those old Spider-Man movies, Aunt May was a lot older, and even in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies, she was a lot older as well. Marvel doing Spider-Man the third time in less than like 15 years really wanted to change the character, change the story a little bit, so they made Aunt May a lot younger, younger actress in Melissa Tomei, and
Do you think it was because they couldn't make more Spider-Man movies because Aunt May can only be alive for so long?
I don't think that was the reason, but
It just doesn't make sense to me how an old granny Aunt May goes into this younger 30 Aunt May who's dating Mr. Iron Man.
well, she's not 30.
You
She's
think
still
the old
older.
Aunt May could date Tony Stark?
But here's no, I don't think so. But here's the thing where Aunt May in the older stuff was a lot older, more of like a grandma age, which doesn't make sense because that was the sister or relative to Peter Parker's parents, which, if he's 20 years old, the parents are only in their late 40s, early 50s, mid 50s, like at the oldest. So why is Aunt May so old? It doesn't make sense. It more makes sense here where Melissa Tomei is, older. She's like in her mid 50s. Which is Tony Stark too. Robert Downey Jr. is, I think, like he just turned 55 or something.
Yeah, it was just his birthday. I think her birthday might be on Easter or something.
His birthday was on Easter. Look at this guy.
See, this is where I say when they said the Marvel facts and the Marvel category block, that's me.
You're learning.
I'm the Marvel expert.
Yeah, you're learning. You're getting there.
But it was pretty cool how he got her the job in Spider-Man. Was that or Homecoming? That was her first movie in the Spider-Man series?
So
she looks so familiar.
So technically her first role as Aunt May was in Civil War because they had a cameo of Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
So that's why Tony Stark went to Queens and surprised Peter and was talking to Aunt May on the couch and that kind of thing. But like her first role, and she's, she plays Aunt May in all the Spider-Man movies now.
All right, so next one. This one's actually really cool. So Samuel L. Jackson was Nick Fury by accident. So if it was rather convenient that Nick Fury started looking like Samuel L. Jackson, you might be pleased to learn this was no accident, actually. So creators Mark Miller and Brian Hitch came up with the idea without asking Samuel L. Jackson in 2000. And it wasn't until over a decade later until they told him he'd be a lead character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they basically started developing Nick Fury in 2000, these two guys, and they're like, you know what? Samuel L. Jackson would be a dope-ass character, dope-ass actor to be Nick Fury. So let's design the character around the appearance of Samuel L. Jackson, kind of like you talk about this a lot, is about speaking it into existence.
Yep.
Like, that's what they were doing, and it's pretty awesome how they actually accepted it. I mean, who's going to turn down being in the Marvel movie, first of all? But they got some guts. That's like the run and gun offense. Like, they're going all in. They're putting all their poker chips into this one moment to get Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, and they accomplished.
Samuel L. Jackson is a great actor. He's done so many things. He's been in Star Wars, Marvel. He's got like these prominent. He's now a character, an actor who can really do whatever the hell he wants, which is pretty dope. But yeah, I think that is really interesting that, as Ryan was explaining, so the comic book creators, so I told this to Ryan before the show, but Nick Fury was actually white. So the original old Nick Fury was like a white character in the comic books who had an eye patch and that kind of thing. But then when they were redeveloping the Avengers comic books in the early 2000s and that kind of thing, they developed the new look of Nick Fury based on Samuel L. Jackson. And then, like 10 years later, Samuel L. Jackson would actually play the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and in the films. And it's cool to see that the actor who the character was based off of eventually became the character in the films.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Do you think someone like Marvel's making a movie hoping that I'm going to be the actor someday?
They have like a character in the back of a comic book and it's just like you, like somewhere?
No, like an actual like big movie for me. They're drawing me up right now. They're drawing me 10 years ago when I was 14. And they're like, Ryan's going to be the main actor in this movie.
What's your power? Like why would you be in the movie?
I'm not going to be actually in a Marvel movie. Let me get something out. I'm not a big Nick Fury guy, which that's probably going to make a lot of these TikTok people who comment a lot of mean shit pretty angry at me. I don't think I'm becoming a fan favorite on TikTok, but that's besides the point. So Nick Fury doesn't have his own movie, right?
No, but they've given him more stuff to do. He was in Captain Marvel. They like de-aged they de-aged Samuel L. Jackson, and he's a man behind the scenes. He's still doing stuff. He had an end credit scene of Spider-Man Far From Home, which he was in space running swords. So he's still there.
What's up with the eye patch?
Did you watch Captain Marvel?
I don't know, maybe.
They explain in Captain Marvel.
I might have been like Netflix and chilling at that time.
It was a cat. A cat clawed his eye out.
If you know what I mean.
Oh, get out of it. But the cat clawed his eye out, man. You got to pay attention to the movie.
The Marvel movies are really particular. Like, you really got to pay attention and know your shit. That's why you can't be really a front runner like I am, where I just show up to the Avenger movies in the movie theaters just hoping to understand it, and I don't. Yet I still continue to do it for the popcorn and soda. But you know what? Who gives a shit?
As we're doing Marvel facts, baby. That's what we're doing.
All right, what is the next one? Or is this our last one, Paul? It is. Our last Marvel fact. Give it to the people.
So, last Marvel fact we got here. The Wasp.
I said that. I said that last Marvel fact.
Thanks, buddy. A famous favorite character of mine is the Wasp. Was almost in the first Avengers films, Avengers Assemble. So, I mean, a little bit about this, that in the original comic books, like the main Avengers team, the only difference between the film adaptation from the comic book was like you were kind of missing two of the original characters on that roster, which were the Wasp, and you were missing Hank Pym, or like Henry Pym, which is Ant-Man.
Hank Pym?
It's the same character, Hank and Henry. It's like Ant-Man. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, which are a famous couple in the comics and married together, were a part of that original Avengers team in the comics. But when they did the movie, they were left out. But now were brought back and are now in the MCU now. But originally, the Wasp character was supposed to be written into that first Avengers film, but was then written out and replaced by Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson. And we all love Scarlett, and she's been in the MCU for forever. But now eventually we got the Wasp with what's her name? Evangeline Lilly. She plays the Wasp now. But I think it's cool that you could have had more of that original team in that first movie. But I think the Marvel universe is so amazing, and they've done such a good job that they've been able to build up that character later on down the line in other films.
Here's a mid-show hot take.
What's your hot take?
Here's my hot take mid-show. Throw it up, Ryan's hot take is that the Wasp is better than the Black Widow.
Wow. Okay, I agree with that statement. Actually,
she is so much cooler. She has so much better powers. Some would argue she's just as powerful, maybe more powerful than Ant-Man.
I agree with that statement. I do. But I thought you weren't a big Ant-Man fan. I thought you don't like his powers.
I didn't like
Paul Rudd.
I was not a Paul Rudd guy. I really didn't like any of his projects at all. Watched Ant-Man. I'm all in on the Rudd show.
Dude, all the Rudd show, baby.
But the Wasp helped out, dude. She is dope. She's one of my favorite girls. Probably my favorite. So she got robbed. That's messed up.
I agree with you, actually. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the main female characters, it's like Captain Marvel, Black Widow, and...
The Black Widow never does anything.
And
what has she done?
Yeah.
She doesn't really do anything. Doesn't she have a movie coming out?
She does have a movie coming out.
But she better start doing some things in that, or she's gonna die. If she doesn't fight well in that movie, she's gonna die.
She already died.
Oh, she died? Well, see, this is where the Wasp wouldn't have died.
Spoiler alert. Hopefully you've seen Avengers Endgame. But
the Wasp would not have died if it was in place of the Black Widow, where she should have belonged.
So let us know what you think. We clearly are Wasp fans, but I think it's pretty cool. MCU is great. These are some great Marvel facts. I'm glad we did this.
Me too.
Marvel, that's what we do. Next segment here, Ryan. Our last segment of the day. We're going back to some partying stuff. I think this is a fun segment. What do we got? We
got some stereotypes. Would you call this a stereotype?
What do you mean? We're talking about 6 types of people.
You just could introduce the segment.
We're talking about 6 types of people that you might see at a party.
All right, so number 1, the first kid you're going to see at the party is the kid who literally just tried alcohol for the first time. So you see that kid, Paul. What is he doing? What does he look like? What is he experiencing for the first time having alcohol? And now he's at this party trying to get right. What's he look like?
There was a friend of mine in college that I feel you could think about the stereotypical kid that you have in your mind of sipping alcohol for the first
I
time.
got like McLovin in my mind.
Yes.
I am McLovin.
I have that very skinny kid probably just trying to have a good time.
He's got the dress shirt on. The only one really dressed nice at the party.
But here's the thing. He might be socially awkward a little bit, but he wants to have a good time. Just like all of us, he wants to have a good time. He's ready to get fucked up. If you get him in the right mindset, he'll be there with you. So it all depends.
People who do this are actually nuts. Like, if your first time drinking is going to be before you go to a party or going to a party, I feel like you got to be like, that's just setting up for disaster. Because most people who try alcohol for the first time, you like sit down and you like sip it. All right, that's the first time. This kid's chugging 3 beers and he's out on the dance floor. I mean, he's making out with girls. He's doing like this weird move, sweating.
Wave.
He's sweating through his dress shirt. He's got the pit sweat. I mean, he's really experiencing it. I mean, it's going to be a memorable night for that kid, but...
Or like he's getting super hungover or he's throwing up at the party. Maybe he's pulling trig, as we said. He probably doesn't learn. He hasn't learned that yet.
Really loud, because you don't really realize how loud you talk when you're drunk. So then he's definitely screaming across the room all night. Don't you agree?
I do. So the McLovin, if you're out there, we appreciate you. We want you to have a good time. Don't drink the first time, or anyone who's listening to this, if you're not drinking age, and maybe you're a younger audience member, we appreciate you listening to the show. This is like your prep, right? So they listen to our show, they get all the facts ready, and then when they get in high school and they're ready to party, they're going to be the life of the party.
Yeah,
because they're ready. They've been studying this playbook that we've made for them. So McLovin, when you're ready, we'll be there for you.
McLovin. Why would you choose McLovin? It's just a dumb, stupid name. Superbad's the funniest movie. I think we've talked about that on the show. But what's the second person you're going to see, or persons you'll see at a party, Paul?
People you'll see at a party. The awkward couple.
Awkward.
And we talked about this on the show last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, where you have these people maybe making out on the dance floor. And I feel like this awkward couple is the same way. They're either super horny and they're somewhere in the room.
No, they're always the like horniest people there.
They're somewhere in the if there's a house party, they're somewhere in the house party, but you never know where they are. They might be out back making out. They might be in their car, whatever. Or when they're together, his hand's just like on her back. You don't know what they're doing. They're
in her pants.
They're like smirking at each other.
Dude, what's that TikTok where like couples will reenact these weird relationship pictures? You've seen this.
I've seen this thing where couples or girls are making their boyfriends get into yoga positions. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
So girlfriends have been putting their boyfriends into yoga positions, but the yoga positions are actually sex positions that the boyfriend puts them in.
Oh,
so it's like
you
a reverse.
can miss me with that. You can miss me with that.
Funny, but that's a cool TikTok trend. But yeah, these awkward couples.
My girlfriend gets mad at me because like I hate when couples are like really close together and only communicate and have conversations with one another throughout the whole night. So she gets mad at me because like I don't always want to be like attached to her hip at parties. Like I get satisfaction from watching her have conversation and meaningful conversation with people she usually doesn't talk to.
I think that I agree with you on that statement, where when you're at a party, you want to talk to people who are there, right? Like that's your whole point, where your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you're always with them. You don't need to be with them at the party, be on there. I know you're not really for PDA. You were never a PDA guy. I'm a PDA guy, but I have my fun, like, with my friends and that kind of thing. So it's a balance, but just don't be that awkward couple. Like, talk to people while you're there.
All right. So next person you'll see at the party is the druggie, the drug kid, this drug guy, the drug girl, the person who's all about drugs.
Maybe not drinking as much, but just trying to get everyone.
Oh, they're not drinking, period. They'll roll up to the party with nothing in their hand. They'll probably be on the phone, like talking to like another plug. Then they're being like real like mischievous, walking around with their hands in their pockets. Big whisper, like they whisper everything. Like they're walking around like, yo, what's up, man? You good? And they only know just certain people in the party because they don't really belong there. Because like people who are drug dealers or the drug guys don't really belong at parties.
They like show up and then they do their thing and they're probably
and they only like dabble around the room. Like they don't always like are part of. It's like their own little world. It's just weird vibes. Then they'll go disappear in a room for a little bit. Probably that's where they snort the cocaine, and then they come back and join you.
But
So, that's my vibe.
You just got to be aware of that guy. Just make sure you know where that guy is at all times. Make sure he's not causing a fuss, but he's not there to cause trouble.
They really aren't there to cause trouble. I mean, the drug dealers are very low key. I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, they got to remain under the radar, away from the popo. So I mean, when they come to a party, they're not screaming. You might not even know they're there half the time, and they're blended in, and they most likely smell like weed. That's probably
agreed.
The only way you know they're there is if you smell. Next one.
The next person you always see at a party
It's me.
Is that party animal, man.
Me. No,
That life of the party who's there to have a great time, enjoy themselves, make everyone around them enjoy themselves, and just like be that life of the party, that party animal.
I mean, we talk about this all the time. You can be the life of the party and still be successful in life. This more so is like the party animal. Like these are the kids that are in college who live for the weekend, and you don't see them in class. You only see them on test days. They're partying during the week. They're the party animal. Like all they care about in life is partying, and they don't really care about their future.
Yeah, so this is more of a difference. That this is just guy who's drunk probably 5 out of 7 days of the week, I want to say. Yeah. That was me my freshman year at college.
So you were an alcoholic.
A little bit freshman year, man. I think I told you this, but this is what's crazy. So I would drink with my friends freshman year of college, and the way the schedule worked was that we drank Monday. We drank for Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. Tuesday we took off. Wednesday I was a theater kid, so they did this thing called Wine Wednesday, but I would drink beer and stuff. So we drank on Wednesday, drank on Thursday for Thursdays, drank Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We all got drunk for football. Monday Night Football. So we were drinking 6 days out of the week.
You just start coming up with like names of the week at that point. It's Wicked Wednesday. It's Thirsty Thursday. It's Freaky Friday. It's
Turn Up Tuesday.
Shit phrase Saturday. Like you just start making words up at that point to make it socially acceptable for you to drink that day. And every day.
Turning Up Tuesday. That's the only day I didn't drink, but I like that idea.
Tuesday.
I like that idea. Making up things for the week.
We used to do this thing on Wednesdays in college where we would just call it Wicked Wednesday, and the Red's Wickeds. You know those type of alcohol? They're red apple ales, but they're like 8%, and we called it Wicked Wednesdays, and we would literally just get a 12-pack each of those and just go in. And
I like that idea.
Wicked Wednesday, and then you get the Thirsty Thursday and the Friday Freaky Friday. Name every day of the week, and you can drink. There you go.
We got 2 left here. People you always see at a party. The next one is
the typical bro. Like this is just the frat boy.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
You're the typical bro. I really don't like the typical bros, to be honest. They always have their shirt off. Oh, I'm like thinking like Bryce Hall and those TikTokers, like steroids, lift weights. Yo, bro, you gonna come to the party? Like hard dap. I hate when people dap me up really hard.
I feel like you could,
bro.
The typical bro, I feel like you could take from a lot of those college movies, probably especially 22 Jump Street when they go to college, and it's like,
or like
the football
Blue Mountain
players.
State.
Yeah, Blue Mountain State, those guys too. But definitely those like short shorts, the open button up, maybe the polo, visor if you're getting real fucked up and you're down like in the South schools.
Yeah. And they just want to get with girls. And younger girls. Usually college, if we're talking, it's like the senior typical bros want to get with the freshmen.
The freshman girls, they're down in the basement.
I hate it so much. God, I hate it.
They're down in the basement, shirts off. Right? I already know. I can see it. Their shirts off. They're sweaty. They're fist bumping. We're
Backwards
from Jersey.
visor.
Backwards visor, fist pumping from Jersey. Just having a good time. They mean well. Usually, I know a lot of those guys. They mean well, but sometimes they're not. They don't come off.
They don't mean well. Get that shit out of here. I really do hate the dap up really hard though.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not.
It's like relaxed. Like they have no like sense of like touch.
Okay.
I mean, maybe. I mean, here we go.
Oh, kid show here.
Here we go. So, let's skip that part. It's not important. So, last one. What is it, Paul?
We have the potential friend, and I think this is the best thing at any party.
The best
is that when you're at a party and you know a lot of people, or even if you don't know people, that when you drink, you loosen up a little bit, right? Yeah. So you loosen up. You're
you do the chicken dance. Is that what you do?
No, I'm loosening up.
You do the chicken dance.
Stretching out a little bit, loosening up, and you meet new people. And a lot of times, I mean, I've met a bunch of people from parties because you're in a setting where you're meant to mingle and you're just supposed to meet people and have a good time. Everyone's drinking. Maybe you vibe over a song. You
or
see
it's like
dancing.
Really compact and crowded where you're like shoulder to shoulder with someone you never talked to before.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh shit, doesn't this shit suck? And then he'll be like, yeah. And then you're best friends.
I agree with that statement. That's happened to me many times at parties in college, and it's always nice to meet new friends. And especially ones who you want to drink with. If you see they're having a good time and they're a life of the party, or they're just, have good vibes and they drink a lot and, whatever, and you're the same way, that's a good friend. That's how you meet new people. Potential friend.
Me and my friend, this happened one time when we were at Coastal Carolina. We went to school there our freshman year, and we were playing pong on the table, and these two kids were like both spit out images of us on the other side of the table. It was like the one kid acted and was like my build, exactly like me, and then the other kid was exactly like the other kid. It was like a spit mirror image.
That's pretty dope.
And we just met them because they came on the pong table, and then we ended up playing this crazy game of pong. It was an epic night, and then we just became good friends, exchanged numbers, and we were good friends throughout our college year there. So you just never really know. It's just like that potential friend. It's like, holy shit, we can be best friends. Like, let's do it.
Oh, what's that? It's like, oh, did we just become best friends? You want to go? You want to go do karate in the garage? That type of shit. That's Step Brothers energy.
That's good times.
That's the end of our show, man. I think it was a great show. I was glad to be back.
Yeah, we're happy to be back. We're happy to have you guys listening back. Feels good. I mean, it's positive vibes. It's always a great time to come on and spit some talk.
Yeah, always a good time here on the mics. We appreciate everyone listening, getting to the end of the show. Remember to follow us on all social medias. We're on TikTok, Instagram. We just did a Twitter. It's very fresh, so go follow us on Twitter. It's all at Life's a Party Pod. So that's pretty dope. But yeah. Oh, and if you're not listening or watching us on YouTube, go check out our YouTube. We're trying to get our subscribers up. That'd be really dope if you guys subscribe over there. But that's the end of our show, man. We appreciate you guys listening. Keep partying on. As always,
music, take us out.
See you, baby.
Later.